What's up, everybody? I'm Blessed and Free. Welcome back to another episode of DOC TV. So I'm sure you guys can already tell I got another interview for you guys. And I really like to bring people on that have been in the pits of hell and have walked down those crazy roads in life and have changed their life and are doing positive things now. So I brought my boy on here. We've known each other for like 5 years now?
Yeah, about that.
So why don't you tell these people what your name is, man, and where you're from?
Well, my name is Brian. I'm originally from Bradenton, Florida, a little neighborhood called Samoset. Pretty gutter, you know. A lot of white boys confused, big trucks, gold teeth, loud music, dope boys. Rough, man, just rough. Yeah, Manatee County.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So when you were growing up, man, like, is that, like, when you explain that, is that the kind of path you took in the beginning, or what, like, how did it all start for you with, like, getting in trouble, you know, and facing prison eventually?
Yeah, I was always doomed from the start, and it was nobody's fault but my own. My mentality, my outlook on life, I wanted what I wanted, and I took it. My parents tried their hardest to give me a good life and teach me good morals and do these things, and I had such a rebellious spirit. By the time I was 5 years old, I was stealing their money. I was jumping out of my window. I was trading it, bartering weed and money for other guys in the neighborhood to let me use their dirt bike, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what's crazy, man, is like I'm the same way. Like, I didn't grow up, you know, in some crazy environment. I made the environment crazy. I don't know what it was in me, man, but I just always chose to do the crazy shit in life. So when was the first time that you actually got arrested for doing that type of shit?
7 years old.
Damn, bro.
Yeah, I was 7 years old. I got put in juvenile hall for taking all the bikes in the neighborhood and reselling them to people in other neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And don't even ask me how. I have a 7-year-old daughter, and I don't know how I was doing that at that age. Like, I don't
like look back now and
like how did I even know to do that? Like, I have no idea. But yeah, it's all there in black and white, dude. It's all there on the screen. You know, anybody can look it up.
So when was it in your life after that, like, you actually, because I'm sure, you know, 7, they kind of give you a slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
When did you finally, like, catch some charges where you're like, damn, like, these charges might send me to prison?
14. By the time I was 14, I had multiple burglary charges because I was, like I said, I wanted it, I took it. I would sell you dope, and then I would go back in your house and take it. and then resell it to you.
And then help them look for it.
Absolutely, and then resell it to you. So by the time I was 14, I got sentenced to, they never sent me to prison, to JIT camp. I never went to JIT camp, but I did 4 different programs. Did a level 6, 2 level 8s, and then finally a level 10, which was like a juvenile prison, but not JIT camp.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. I think a lot of people that haven't been, and then they hear a lot of stories about JIT camp, it's the same age groups, it's the same shit going on. It's just not Florida DOC that owns it.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was still rough, and it was still brutal.
So what was that like going into the programs? When you went there, like, did you get tested?
Absolutely. TOH is mandatory, especially in the level 10. Now, the level 6s and the level 8s were a little different. And I always thought I was the biggest, baddest thing. I don't care if you were 6'4", I was going to try to fight you even if you whipped me to a pulp. But that changed when I went to real prison.
How long from then was it until you caught another charge?
I was 23.
23?
I was 23, and from that time period, from 18 to 23, I was still, I'm a drug addict. I was a drug addict from the beginning, and I was still in the streets. I was still doing the things that I did. I just lucky enough not to get caught.
So what did you end up catching then when you were...
Burglaries.
More burglaries?
Yep, more burglaries. And I had never been to adult jail, county, anything at this point. So I'm 23 years old, and I rob a store, and then I go back and rob the guy's house who owns the store, all in the same day. And to get into the building, I threw a chair, or to his house, I threw a chair through the window, so they charged me with throwing of a deadly missile, which landed me in the 5th floor of Max in Pinellas County.
Okay, so you threw like a chair through the window?
Yeah, just a regular porch chair through their sliding glass doors.
So I love hearing that, man, because I like to talk about that on this channel. Like, so for anybody watching this, he picked a chair up and threw it through the window, and the state chose to charge him with throwing a missile object into the house. That right there, that should not be allowed to happen, because what is that, a 2nd-degree felony?
It is, and it's 15 years. It's punishable by 15 years, and they throw you in with
Killers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
my first
crazy.
day in there, I remember I was like a little baby, man. I'd never been to jail before. And in that point of, you know, in an adult jail, and I seen a guy, my first day in there, get stabbed with a pen, and his eye just started leaking out. Like, and this is in Pinellas County, federal holding facility. Like, the feds are in there with you, you know, and it's real deal. People looking at life sentences, you know.
Damn, yeah, because a lot of people, you know, watch stuff about people going to prison and jail, and, you know, you always hear the stories about after they've been through it all, but everybody starts at that first day in jail, and it, you know, you're not human if that shit doesn't shock you, or you have some type of fear in you with that. So when you saw that, like, what was going through your head? Like, shit's about to get real.
I thought I was gonna die, you know, and they tried me right away, and I had to, you know, prove myself in there. But it had been so long since I've been in any situation like that it was
all fresh again.
It was all fresh. Yeah, I mean, I was married, like living on the beach with all, you know, with some things in my life. You know, but drugs took that away real quick, and then it led me down the path to a lot worse things.
Yeah. So when you were in Max and Pinellas, did you get out after that, or did you go to prison?
I did, because it was my first charge as an adult.
Okay.
So they let me off, slap on the wrist, 2 years probation, you know, the whole initial adult sentencing type thing,
Right.
you know.
So when was it after that you caught other charges?
Well, I caught multiple burglaries from then on. But it was when I was 27. I just went through a divorce, and I went off the wall.
Yeah.
You know, and I robbed a pharmacy, and they tried to give me a life sentence for it.
Damn.
And it was actually a burglary. It wasn't a robbery. You know, I didn't go in with a pistol. I'm too coward for that. You know, I go in through the roof when nobody's there,
Right.
and do it that way. Well, while I was going in the roof, they had a faulty roof, and I fell through.
Oh, damn.
So they charged me with the property damage. So burglary of an unoccupied structure with property damage above $1,000 is punishable by life.
I did not know that. Well,
Yeah, 92 points, 1st-degree felony.
Damn. So what ended up happening with that?
Well, when I went into jail, I thought it was just a regular burglary.
Right,
So I'm
that's
used
what
to
I
these.
would think,
I'm
yeah.
used to these. I called my people. I was like, hey, yeah, 6 months I'll be out. Don't even worry about anything. You know, I'll be out in 6 months. And my mom looked it up online. She said, baby, it's punishable by life. You know, this is a life sentence. I'm like, all right. So the enhancement, the property damage, is what causes that
That's crazy.
to be a life sentence in Florida. Yeah.
A life sentence for falling through a roof.
For falling through the roof, yeah. And
Man, that's fucked up, man.
and that's even if I didn't have my past. You know, that's
fresh charges.
That's a fresh charge. Is punishable by life. It's for falling through a roof while burglarizing.
That's crazy, ladies and gentlemen. Wow.
And it's more embarrassing than anything. Then you're gonna try to give me a life sentence.
Yeah, man,
You
imagine
know?
being in there doing life. What are you in here for, bro?
Falling through a roof.
Yeah. So what it ended up, did you go to prison from that charge, I take it?
Yes. I ended up buying a lawyer. I had some money put away from some other stuff. And so I had my mom get that money and get a lawyer for me, and I ended up dropping 15 grand on a lawyer, and he ended up beating it down to 5 years. It was actually 5 years and 4 years paper.
Okay, so in and out.
In and out. So a 9-year sentence, and so I ended up doing the 5 years. Ended up going to prison, but ended up going back.
All right. So, just from when you went to jail, like what was your experience being in jail, waiting to go to prison? Like, did you learn anything? Was there any programs? Like, did you get involved with anything in there, or were you kind of okay?
I did, because I did 2 years in county waiting, fighting the charges, because they wanted to give me life, and then it went down to 20 and 25. We beat it all the way down, but so I took welding in Manatee County. They have a welding class. It's like MTI, Manatee Technical Institute. So I ended up getting a degree. I got a degree in welding certification. And I worked on their farm. You know, I did all kinds of stuff. Manatee County grows their own vegetables, and you know, it's a country farm. You know, a country jail.
Well, hey man, props for that, because every jail I've been to doesn't have that. If they did, I would have done that. I couldn't even become a trustee when I went to jail, I guess, because of a violent charge. But so, if you're looking back on that time when you were in jail, like, what do you think that the state of Florida could do, or the Manatee County, to help inmates when they're in there? So, you know, I mean, you know about the recidivism rate.
Yeah.
With your own eyes, like, what did you witness, or what do you think should be done?
Manatee County is different. I've been in a lot of counties.
Yeah.
Hillsborough, which they just started up a new certification program.
Oh, they
and
did?
they did. Yeah, they did, and they have welding and all kinds of stuff in there now. But before, when I was there, I was in Orion and Falkenberg. They had nothing. You sat there dead time, and you know, and barely had any information on anything. I've been to a lot of counties, and they don't have a placement. You know, it's kind of like, oh, your charges are done, you're out. You know, there's nothing for you.
I know, man, it's crazy. I think that's why so many people get out and then go right back, because they bring you in, take all your shit, and then kick you out with nothing.
Yep.
All right, so you're going to prison. You know you're going to prison. Like, the day you got sentenced, like, how did that all go? Like, what was going through your head?
Well, I'd never been to an adult prison, so when I came back, I just signed, and now I know in 2 weeks I'm gonna be gone. I was asking everybody what it's like. You know, what do I look forward to? You know, what's gonna happen is, because I'm thinking JIT, I'm thinking TOH, and you know, all these different aspects of being in a new facility.
Right.
But there was none of that. You know, there was none of that.
So you went to Orlando when you went?
Went to Orlando first.
Which is kind of a little shell-shocked.
Yeah, it's all right. It's, you know, when you first get there, they try to scare you and stuff like that, but I'm cool with that. As soon as I was out of their face, I was all right.
Yeah. How long did you stay at Orlando for?
For about a month.
Okay.
Maybe 6 weeks.
So if anybody doesn't know, too, Orlando's a reception center they have in Florida. You can either go there, South Florida, North Florida, Butler. So when you were at Orlando Reception Center, you said you stayed for about a month?
Yeah, in the main unit.
Okay.
At the main unit. And then they ship you to the East unit.
Right.
And then you do about 2 weeks there, and then they ship you out to your main camp.
So I guess the next question is, what camp did they send you to?
Gulf CI.
That's where I was. So.
Yeah, Gulf CI.
What did you think of that place?
Gulf was rough. Gulf wasn't nothing to be messed up with, you know. And I'm until you get to know me, or I get to see people and see how they act, I'm pretty quiet.
Yeah.
You know, I don't.
Stay in your lane.
I don't mess with anybody, you know. And I've always been that way when I do time. But this was different. Yeah. This was different. You had no choice. You had no choice. You had to. They were gonna try you whether you're quiet or not.